Eerily pale skin, green hair, and a smile that can give anyone nightmares. The Joker is a villain who definitely looks just as scary as he is. From the comics to the Batman and Joker movies, you'll be surprised to know that the history behind the Joker's smile is a lot darker than you could have imagined. Stay tuned till the end to find out all about it. In the Dark Knight franchise, Heath Ledger's Joker has a permanent smile that's been formed by all of the scars on the villain's face. Now, there are two versions of the story, so believe whichever one you will. The first one goes a little something like this. One night, Joker's drunk father was beating his mother up when she picked up a knife to defend herself. He snatched it from her and turned to his son, who was obviously terrified. His father then put the knife to his face, saying the infamous line, "Why so serious?" and carved a smile on the Joker's face. The second DC origin story says that when the Joker's wife was slashed by a bunch of gambling sharks that he had gotten himself in trouble with, the villain decided to carve similar scars on his face, disfiguring his own mouth as well. Sadly, his wife couldn't stand to see him after that and left the man for good. Now, of course, all of this makes for pretty good fiction, right? But what if we told you that the actual story of the Joker smile comes from real life? Famously known as the Glasgow Smile, and popularized by one of the greatest villains of all time, is a form of torture that dates back hundreds of years ago. Let's go back to Scotland's Industrial Revolution, which took place between 1830 to 1880. With the establishment of tons of new factories, farmers, and other displaced citizens from the nearby areas that started moving to Glasgow for jobs and a better lifestyle. However, because Glasgow was a small city and just didn't have the infrastructure or resources to be able to handle such a large influx of people, the city was plagued with food shortages, diseases, malnutrition, and of course, crime rates that were increasing every single day. All of this resulted in a number of gangs trying to take control of the city. Collectively known as the Glasgow Razor Gangs, these organizations were trying to build their own empires and bring each other down. They would resort to robberies, extortion, torture, and even murder to assert dominance, resulting in never-ending wars. And the Glasgow Smile was their signature move to taunt their opponent. So, what was the Glasgow Smile in real life? It was a way for these brutal gangs to send each other a message that said, "Back off, or else." So, what would happen was that the gang members would get a hold of someone from their rival gang, tie them up, and then torture them with a knife. The gang members would start cutting from one, or sometimes even both corners of the victim's mouth, and go all the way up to their ears, making it look like their smile was widening, hence the name Glasgow Smile. And as the victim screamed in pain, the cuts only got wider and wider. The pain would last for days, and the victim would be left with permanent scars. Not very different from the ones that the Joker has. The scars would then be a mark of humiliation that the victim had to live with for the rest of their life. With the Great Depression, the Razor Gangs were able to recruit more and more people who were jobless and desperate for ways to put food on their plates. And as they grew in number, so did the violence. Soon, Glasgow was notorious for its many crimes, and of course, the city's signature smile torture that was unheard of before this. The worst part was that there was essentially no way for doctors to fix the Glasgow Smile. So while gang leaders and members would be imprisoned for their crimes, the wounds that they left on their victims were there forever. The Glasgow Smile then went on to be replicated in numerous cases all over the world, with one of the most famous omens being the murder of Elizabeth Short, famously known as Black Dahlia, a crime that shook the entire world. The Black Dahlia case has been covered in countless books, TV shows, and documentaries, but what most people don't know is that when Elizabeth's mutilated body was discovered in LA, she had the Glasgow Smile carved onto her face. Now, the reason why officials decided not to reveal the information to the public was because it was just too cruel and brutal. In fact, her actual immediate death was because the lacerations on her face had started hemorrhaging, so you can pretty much say that the Glasgow Smile is what killed the poor woman. But what's even scarier is that the Glasgow Smile also went on to impact the world's sports when it was used by the Chelsea Headhunters, a gang associated with the Chelsea Football Club. The headhunters were famous for getting involved in crazy battles with rival fan clubs, and these arguments would often revolve around them inflicting what they called the Chelsea grin on anyone who dared to challenge the club. And for those of you who think that the Glasgow Smile is a thing of the past, only to be portrayed in films through characters like the Joker, you'll be terrified to know that the actor Tommy Flanagan, best known for his roles on TV shows Sons of Anarchy and Peaky Blinders, was actually attacked in Glasgow itself when he was working as a DJ, with the gang members leaving a Glasgow smile on his face. The scars of the attack are still visible till date, and you can probably spot them the next time Flanagan is on TV, giving proof of the fact that this bloody practice still sees no end. And that's a wrap for this grisly history of the Joker smile. What do you think of this brutal form of torture? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up. See you next time. Bye-bye!